Well, good evening, at least for me. Uh, Excuse the low lighting, but more and more I feel more comfortable being in the lower light because of health problems. Uh, so it's not on purpose. Well, I just want to make a short video right now about what I have been seeing occurring in the US media. My sources are mainly Reddit and YouTube because I don't do social media. I don't have it, I don't want it, and it's poisonous for me. So my cat just came in and opened the door. She's a sweet girl. But, and now there are these videos that, okay, she wanted to be in the video. But there are these videos now in YouTube where you either find people gloating on others' misery, gloating on the misery of the MAGA voters, on Trump supporters, on Elon Musk supporters, whatever. And what I find is that it's amazing that now they are all opening their mouths to talk. And yet, we know that a significant percentage of them did not bother to vote. And of course, you should call them out. No doubt about it. And of course, those people now suffering the consequences of their actions, they should shut up. Look, if you're a farmer and you voted for Mr. Trump to be your president, he's just doing exactly what he said he would. If you're a public worker, same thing. If you own a business, same thing. He is doing exactly what he said he would be doing. And now you have the consequences of him, for example, um, attacking his allies. He backstabbed Europe. He betrayed us. He betrayed Ukraine. He betrayed everyone. And if you think these agreements he says he's negotiating are anything more than some kind of narcissistic desire of saying, look, I did this, you are sadly mistaken. He's talking about making deals with Ukrainian soil, about dividing Ukraine. Do you think Europe is going to sit by and say, yep? No. Europe will be doing exactly what we are doing, rearming ourselves with gusto at a high speed, denying procurement of weapons to any US companies that are trying to do it via the UK. But now the UK is also on the outside of these systems, even if the UK does have specific military alliances. UK has a military alliance with Portugal, one of the oldest in the world and the oldest in Europe. Yes. So, in a certain way, for example, you might see UK companies installing themselves in Portugal, for example, paying taxes here and producing here, even if they produce some parts in the UK, and via that, some American companies might branch up, and they are already branching up into the UK in order to take advantage of that money. But it will always be an indirect routes that have lower profits and higher costs. So it would be much more effective and simple to open a company, say, for example, in Germany or France or Portugal or Spain or whatever they want to do it in the EU, working according to our rules, paying taxes according to our rules, and having to invest their profits according to our rules in our countries. So, whatever happens, the US will never, the cat, the US will never earn directly those profits. No, there won't be any company in, I don't know, Texas constructing weapons and exporting them to Europe. Everyone is canceling the purchase of American fighters. They are choosing Eurofighters. Some are choosing the British Gripen, but because of this system of procurement, I highly doubt that will continue. Speaking of the UK, sooner or later the UK will have to return into the EU, even if it's highly complicated, because they do not even fill up the Copenhagen criteria in order to apply for membership. And if you are expecting like a Norway deal or a Switzerland deal, like I have heard in the news, don't. Completely different. It's easier for Canada to have some kind of free trade agreement and a TCA like style agreement with Europe than the US, than the UK to enter the EU again. Even with all the troubles they are going through, it's easier for Turkey to enter the EU than the UK because their economy is. I, I won't go into this in this video. I might go into one future video. Now, continue. So all of this is happening, and Mr. Trump thinks he can lay in the White House and dictate the world, like if we were in the post-World War II, when America and Russia were dividing up Europe to their pleasing. Because this is what he is talking about. He's living in the past. He's an old man with old man problems in his head. Good statesmen that arrive at an old age and still maintain their power and their intervention in the world, they are always constantly changing, evolving. I never liked Fidel Castro, but he knew how to morph over the years. It was always changing. And I am not a leftist, I have said this often, but you have to admire the man for his persistence. So, now, what I'm seeing in the US right now is a lot of division. When you should be uniting yourselves and finding every possible route to remove power from the man, from Trump. Not impeach him. No. Too hard, and I do not think it's even possible legally. at least in this moment. But use the codes. Stop buying products, for example. I have seen a guy named Texas Fall. I sometimes watch him. Seems like a nice guy. Seems like we usually used to associate to an American, someone that seems to be honest, someone that seems to seek solutions instead of seeking more problems, of seeing things as they are, of being pragmatic, and a couple of more people, because I pretty much disassociated myself from many American YouTubers. To tell you the truth, I only kept one, an old military guy that reviews MREs. Yes. Why? Because I like the man. He looks like an honest person. He talks about food. He doesn't talk about anything more than that, except to sometimes talk about his life in the military, when he was in the military, his experiences, his travel, all of that, or when he's traveling with his family. And because he reminds me of my uncle. Well, people have some weird ideas now. I have mine too. But what I'm trying to say here is that I see people in the US concentrated in the same errors and mistakes that led them to this position. Because they don't seem to grasp the idea that they need to be united in diversity against oppression. To put the state above all of that, put the state above race, above religion, above personal sovereign ideas. There is an epidemic of that might be being killed off by this mega rhetoric about the sovereign citizens. And it's all infantile behavior. You need to stop acting like school children. And I'm not preaching like some kind of bearded Buddha from the top of my perfect European mountain. We have a lot of fucking issues here too. And yes, I swear. When I'm tired, I swear. And I don't care. This is not going to be a video for children. It's for adults, for people that understand what is happening. Sorry for the thought, but botcham. Shit. But as I was saying, you know, there just needs to be a little more pragmatism and common sense in the US. The cat again. And I will end this video by saying this to the American, if any of you are listening to me. Just stop, think, and act. You have representatives, you have means to oppose, you can boycott products like we are doing in Europe and in Canada, more so than even us, and you can retake your state. Remember what Nixon did? This is the same, with a different mask, with a different circumstance, but it's basically the same. So keep it cool, and for God's sakes, stop trying to get those pity votes on YouTube. I don't care if you voted for someone that was going to do what he said he was going to do, and you still voted for him. I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry for being this person. Believe me, I have empathy for you. I understand your pain, but you got what you voted for. And the other ones that did not voted for that, they also have no right to be constantly pummeling that into your face. But they are really, really right to do that when you start crying in the airways. Or you start trying to say, I didn't say that, trying to lie. Don't lie. Admit your mistake. Said, shit, that idiot played me like a children. Like a child, sorry. Remember, English is not my first language. Just admit it. You know, I have fucked up so many times in my life and I admit it. You know, why? Because I have to. Because that is the only way to grow, is to understand the mistake and try not to act emotionally. Try to smile, try to not being so damn uh, quiet like I am. But if that is who you are, then embrace it. Because there isn't really anything you can do. You just have to live, man. But try to get rid of those mad hatters, alright? Not by violence, I am not inciting violence, because violence solves nothing. If there's something I agree with the people that used to give me Sunday school, is that violence only creates more violence. Doesn't work. Believe me, it does not work. Right. So, have a nice day, a nice evening, whatever. See you next one.